Look at that jig in there.
Now see, that's a dang good fish right there, Lonnie. I've still got him hooked.
Woo, that's a good one.
I want out of this big old tree, but I don't know if I'll be able to get him out.
You know, it's
kind of comfy down here. I can see why they want to lay down and get them now. Hey, we're down here with our good buddy Lonnie Stanley, picking his brain today about bass fishing, baits, rods and reels, boats, motors, everything, and maybe even just a little life, who knows. But come go with us and see what happens with us today, and might learn a few things about what this old boy's had got in his brain.
Nice fish. That was a good looking fish now. All right, girl.
Today we're going to kind of venture out today with old Lonnie Stanley. That's my bass man, and we're going to slip out today and just going to kind of slip out and see what we can catch, you know, on not a very big lake. You know, there's a lot of little small lakes and little reservoirs and private lakes and city lakes and what all's out there.
Right.
I'm about ready to go out and see if we can stretch our string a little bit and just see what we might be able to catch. I'm not expecting a whole lot, but if we catch something as cold as the winter's been, I'm just glad we're outside.
I can imagine, you know, it's been cold in East Texas, but I watch your weather in Missouri, and the poor people further east and north, it's really, in fact, they're still having snow up there. But I'm ready. Let's go. We got the rod and reels rigged.
We're going to put the G3 in the water here in a bit, and then we're going to slip out and we're going to see what we can catch here in just a bit here with Lonnie Stanley doing a little bass fishing. There's a fish right there.
Got one?
Yep. About like yours, Lonnie. Caught him around that tree. That's what's neat. You don't have to go to the big lakes. There's lots of, you know, where everybody lives, private lakes and little public lakes or whatever. And they're just full of bass, and you know, they may not be great big, but sometimes there's some really good ones in there.
Well, you know, it's it's kind of the city lakes, city parks. We got one over here like in Huntsville, Texas, Huntsville State Park, and some of the smaller lakes, you know, 1,000 Acres, Kurth Lake.
Yep.
All those little old bitty, I call them little when you're used to fishing Sound, Rayburn, and Toledo. They are little, but you know, they're catch and release only. And what happens is these fish grow up.
Right.
You never know. Some of the biggest fish that we've ever caught is in the smaller lakes.
There's a better fish right here, Lonnie. There's a better fish. Come a little better.
Good one there now. Good fish.
Yeah. There we go.
That's what you're looking for.
There's all kind of grass right here underneath us.
Waking that spinnerbait over the top.
Yep.
How fast you running that spinnerbait?
Just fast enough to get it over the grass.
Yep.
Not a bad bass right there. Out here today with Lonnie Stanley, just fishing these little lakes and just kind of picking his brain on what all he would do on certain situations and what all, and having some fun. Just a fun day right here. Back in there, Mr. Bass. You got him?
Yeah, I got him that time.
Yeah. Oh, they'll
4 or 5 pound bass will wear you out.
They'll run off with it. I'll lay down like you pro guys do. The G3 Sportsman is brought to you by G3 Boats. Quality, performance, and satisfaction. Garmin, it's your time. Berkeley, catch more fish. And by Power Pole, swift, silent, secure.
Shallow right there.
You got him?
Yeah, I got him that time.
Yeah.
A little bit better one.
Seen him.
Sending that moles, ain't he?
Yeah.
Doing the same thing with the jig, swim jig, as you're doing with a spinnerbait. Boy, ain't that pretty now? Oh, man, I'm telling you what, they are strong, ain't they? Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, they'll
4 or 5 pound bass will wear you out.
They'll run off with it.
There you go. You ain't gonna make it. Yeah, you're gonna jump one more time. Come here, kid. That fish there was in 2 foot of water, or 3 foot. That's actually a little swim jig. One of the new colors with that purple and the orange mixed together. Did a pretty fish, pretty spawn. Up there chasing bluegill. I saw them bluegill over there. Thank you, guy.
Today we're sitting down here on the dock with our old buddy Lonnie Stanley, the old jig master himself, the old bait builder. We've done a few shows in the past with him on bass fishing and whatnot. Today I just kind of wanted to pick his brain a little bit on what used to be and what is and whatnot about bass fishing, and what makes guys like you that are always innovating and getting new jigs and baits and everything, where does that idea come to you? Is it just out fishing or what?
To me, you got like 4 chains, 4 things that the fish eat. Number 1 is, is a shad, bluegill, perch, salamanders and lizards and stuff like that, and any other thing it's from worms or whatever's in the water. So what you try to do is make a better mousetrap. I guess what I'm trying to say is make a better color of those. Those baits has been around for 50 years.
There's a fish right here, Lonnie. Pretty decent fish. Come up and got it. Come up and got it.
Oh, look how skinny that one is. That's a male.
I've always wanted to do what you bass fishermen do. I see these pictures all the time.
Wait a minute.
Laying down. There you go. Now Lonnie's got it.
Hey, us.
I'll lay down and get yours too, Lonnie, if you want me to.
All right, yeah. Well, hey, why are you doing that pro?
Here, bring him over here. Bring him over here. I'll lay down like you pro guys do. I want to lay down and.
Hey, listen to me. Hey, listen, that laying down, hey, yeah. That's good for them 30 and 40-year-olds.
It's kind of comfy down here. I can see why they want to lay down and get them now. It's just kind of comfy.
Give me back my fish. Hey, old men don't lay down and get fish. We use big line where we can pick them up because our backs hurt and whatever.
Very nice.
Okay. I had no idea I even had a fish. I'm watching you over here and something running down the bank with my swim jig. What's that other one out there? The little ones.
Is that a better one?
No. No, it's another little one. Males that are young right there. Come here, guy. Oh, he wanted that swim jig.
Well, that's not too bad though, Lonnie.
Come here. Swim jig. Kind of a new technique of catching bass.
We've always, for years have heard Stanley jigs. And so, I mean, this has been your bread and butter for a long time with your jigs here. And then from the jig, has it revolutionized to the swim jig? How'd that come about?
Well, back in the, I guess the late 70s when we started, in the 80s, and when we got me and John, some of the guys at Stanley Jigs we started just swimming jigs. We was taking a little 3/16 jig. I think I got one out here, like a little bitty round-headed jig, and just swim it. It swims okay, but it was designed to swim. It was more of a hopping jig. Throw it out, let it hit the bottom, and then hop it 4 or 5 times, let it set, and then swim. But we started swimming. A lot of times we'd catch the fish reeling it in, just a slow reeling it in, and we'd catch the fish. So we started swimming it and hopping it. So, this kind of head like this changed over to a more of a pointed head and a flat head. It pushes up. So when you pull it, this one kind of goes straight, this one here will go up. So you're doing like this through the water. You catch more fish with what they call a swim jig.
Get him?
Yeah, I got him. He ain't very big though. He's a puller though. Woo.
Maybe bigger than you think.
Hold on a minute, he's gonna run in the trolling motor. Hold on a minute, I can't get him out of the.
You got
run under the boat.
I think that's a decent fish, Lonnie.
Yeah, he is a decent fish.
Well,
Lord have mercy, he was running straight to the boat so bad.
I kind of thought it was a decent fish.
Come here, guy. That's a nice fish there now.
That's a nice fish anywhere.
Yep. Swim jig. The little 3/8 swim jig. Ain't that pretty? That's a male. That's just males moving in big 5 to 10 pounders ain't moved in yet. Got one?
Yeah, I don't think he's much, Lonnie. In fact, he ain't nothing. Lord. In fact, that's a big old crappie. It's a nice crappie anyway. Crappie on a spinnerbait. Well, we may just start doing a crappie show here.
That'll work too. Get it way there in the middle of the lake.
That fish is really nice. Hang on, let me get that fish. G3 Sportsman is brought to you by Abu Garcia, for life. Undercover, we've got you covered. Team Catfish, real catfish gear. And by Bug Soother, repel bugs naturally. You know, what we're doing out here today, you know, I'm using the spinnerbait, and so I'm just bouncing out there kind of reconning and whatnot, and you're using the swim bait. So what's the difference in the two for people out there that might not know?
Well, to me, both the swim jig and the spinnerbait, probably the best search and rescue, I call it, you know, a bass, is a spinnerbait. You know, you can cover so much water with a spinnerbait. But with a swim jig, doing like what we're doing out over moss beds that we fish in these lakes, is throwing a swim jig over, it never really hits the bottom. It hits the moss and you jerk it up and you're swimming it back. I'm just slower and I ain't got as much flash as you. So you're catching the fish that's reacting to a shad or a perch or whatever a spinnerbait you know, looks like. And I'm more of a I'm catching the fish that you're not catching. If you catch one on a spinnerbait or two on a spinnerbait, I'm gonna pick up my swim jig and probably catch 2 or 3 more fish in the same area. You found the fish with a spinnerbait, and we both catch them with different baits. Just that's the way we do in a team tournament.
What have you got?
A little bass.
Hey.
One over there's been bothering me at that corner every time. I set the hook so hard because I just made a Lonnie Stanley cast 5 miles out through there. And he hit it on the fall, so
he doesn't sound too bad.
He ain't bad, little bass.
Oh yeah, that's nothing wrong with that one.
Swim jig, ain't that something? It's kind of like somebody to, you know, we did swim jigging back in the 80s.
Yeah.
When we was learning how to jig fish. We didn't know what it was called, we just called it jig fishing. But nowadays they got, you know, jigs with a little bit different head design, a little sharper point, come through the grass a little better. And we just put a big old trailer on the back of it, a swim bait or a screw tail worm, something on the back of it, and just swimming along real slow. Doesn't look like a fish.
Nice little chunky fish. Three jumper. Old Veritas rod feels good.
Ain't that good?
It's just a good rod.
Good fish. Boy, that is a chunk there now.
Yeah.
Look at that, ain't that pretty?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. We can spinnerbait fish and jig fish all day long. Y'all get back to Missouri sometime next week.
What have you seen as the biggest change, really, from when you started to now, other than the fact you aged?
Yeah, really. Say the top 5 things in bass fishing has changed if you wanted to limit to 5. I think the biggest thing, number 1, would be electronics. Is the number 1 thing. And you know, some of the old boats and motors that we used to run, I mean, you know, you do Scooter, Ranger, I don't care what it is, you do Yamahas, it runs forever. Mm-hmm. You know, all that kind of stuff like that. That would have to be number 2, is getting there, you know, faster and smoother. The boats is a heck of an improvement. And number 3 would be rod and reels like these here, you know, the touch, the feel, the reels, high-speeded reels, all the good things about the reels and stuff like that. And you know, along goes with the line, you know, the 4-carbon, all the braided lines that we've got to use now and haul some fish out and stuff like that. That's a great improvement. Then the baits like these, the Stanley baits or Strike King or Pure Fishing, it don't matter. The baits that we get to fish with is just so much better quality, and they trick the fish better because they look more like what's in the water. Yeah, really.
Feels pretty good. I'm glad we ain't on a big old lake.
Well, you couldn't
Fighting
fish.
the wind.
Got him?
Yeah.
A little better fish,
A
ain't it?
little bit bigger than the one I just caught.
Oh yeah, that's a good fish.
I've walked him all over all the timber in there before you could see him in that clear
Ain't
water.
that pretty in that clear water?
He just about
Nice fish there.
He just about got too big for me to flip up in there.
Yep. Thank God you're using a good rod.
Let me get my trolling motor. There we go. Yeah, there you go. He ain't bad. Bad at all. Back in there, Bubba. Boy, I've done drifted into a forest here. If it'll hold me in here, I might be able to catch a couple more.
You know, 10 years ago, they didn't have a rod and reel that weighed 9 ounces. Rod and reel, 10 ounces. I don't really know, but it don't weigh a pound. Especially for us old guys, I guess the tournament guys also, it's gonna be out there for 4 or 5 days in a row. I don't get to fish the tournaments like that no more, but it don't wear you out. And the feel, a lot better feel. And these us short guys, you get one of these 7.3, 7.6 rods, and a windy day like today, it just helps you throw further, set the hook harder. Yeah, it's changed a lot. God, I ain't believing you ain't catch one on that spinnerbait down through there. Back and hit it again. Get out of that grass, boy. Come here. So big. Come here. I missed a good one out there just a while ago. Hadn't hit it, and I missed him, and I just dropped the jig and came right back and hit it. Come on, little guy.
Yeah. He came off that point right there. Off a little spinnerbait still.
Good one? That is a good one.
He's a scrapper, is what he is. He's just a scrapper.
Nice fish.
I gotta get a little better with my hackberry flip. There you go. Good little fat fish.
Nice fish, sir.
Little spinnerbait fish. Just right off, ticking it right off top of him. Top of that grass. There you go, Bubba. She'll put a number on me.
Fish are coming up though. As we swimming them jigs and spinnerbaits over them moss beds, they're just coming up.
You know, Lonnie touched on it earlier about equipment being better or whatever. Now, I know I don't have to brag to you,
No.
but these Abu Garcia rods and reels, I'm gonna tell you something. They're about as good as they come, ain't they, Lonnie? I'm gonna
they
tell you
are
that
for sure.
lightweight, that's the Revo SX right here. And you know, 910 ball bearings on this Veritas V-Series rod right here, just lightweight.
One of the best things about these rods, they're tough. They're just, you can't, I've used these rods for, this is the 4th year, and I have not broke, I've knocked a couple of eyes off of them by hitting the motor, but I have not broke one.
Yep.
Now, as much as I jig fish, and can't break the rod with 20, 25 pound,
Yeah.
they are a tough rod.
Yep. G3 Sportsman has been brought to you by Ugly Stick, America's strongest, most sensitive rod. The Mully Towel, clip, catch, clean, and release. And by Yamaha, reliability starts here. Tell me a little bit about your spinner baits and just over the years what you've done to change them to make them better.
Well, you know, when we started, the reason that this bait's got a tapered, actually it's 41 thousandths here down to a 25 thousandths tapered wire. That was Ricky Clunn come up with that idea. You need a bait that's got a limber shaft on the end, and then the wedge blade, I just kind of come up with that. It's, you know, it's like 30 thousandths on the end of it, and like 15 on this end, which is kind of like our airplane wing, what makes it come through the water. It moves more water. To me, this is the best, running over the grass like you did today with the double willow. No, he didn't. No, he's a little one. He's just down in the malls. He's real little, but.
Well, I don't know where you guys come from to call these bass little. It must be hard. You must be a hard person to please, Lonnie. That fish is really nice.
Yeah,
Hang on, let me get that fish.
Boy, he hit that jig twice. Look at that jig in there.
Now see, that's a dang good fish right there, Lonnie. And you called it little. Enjoyed it, as always.
Thank you.
But as usual, that's all the time we got for today's show. But just remember, we'll be out there somewhere next week, right here on the G3 Sportsman. From Lonnie and me, thanks for watching. Man, tell you one thing, you know you got some tough flies down here in Texas when they can cut the wind, and they still chewing the ankles up. But
Flies are?
Oh man, but I got something for that right here. Right here. This is my secret weapon. Spray a little bit of that stuff on my ankles. Bug soother goes wherever I go in the spring and summer. Nothing ruins a fishing trip worse than the bugs biting. I'd rather have the fish not bite as the bugs bite. But this should be in everybody's boat.
Cannot dig fish sitting down. Well, I can't talk about the rod and reel if the bass is gonna run off on my jig over by the. I'm gonna run him straight at me 94 mile an hour.